So, getting started with our class tonight, we're on the second week of our practice of Pratyahara. And Pratyahara is the fifth limb in classical yoga, and there are eight limbs total. And it's the limb that's kind of the gateway or the portal between the outer world and the inner world. It's where we start to turn off all of the distractions, all of the noise, and we start to really focus inward more. And so, up until this point, we've done the yamas and niyamas, the first two limbs. We've gotten our lives together, basically. And then we've worked out the body. We've done asana, which is the third limb. We've got our energy all balanced and stuff, which is pranayama. And now pratyahara is to turn off or disidentify with sensory information. And so it's not so much that we're ignoring the world, that that's tempting. We're not ignoring the world. We're still aware of it, but we're not so identified with the movement of it. We're turning more toward that central hub of the wheel that doesn't spin, but the world spins around it. And this is both a simple practice and a very difficult one. It's simple in the idea that, yes, we're just turning off the senses. It's very transitionary, a limb of the eight limbs. But it's hard because we are so conditioned for so many reasons to react to our environment. And when I say environment, I mean the physical environment around you, but also the movements of your mind. And so, from a survival standpoint, we need to be aware of what's going on around us so that we don't get harmed and that we can protect ourselves and take care of ourselves. In the same way, our mind, our thoughts are doing the exact same thing. Um, we've been through a lot in our lives, and there are certain tendencies that we've built into our system to keep us safe. From thinking about what our next meal is to making sure we take a certain route home from work, which I guess that's not a good example for the pandemic, but you get what I mean. Our thoughts are always trying to help us, serve us, or protect us in some way, even if that way is not ideal. And this is something that I've learned through psychology alone, is that all of our thoughts, all of our parts of our brain, about our mind, they're good, they're useful, they're helpful in their own agendas. And when we start to work with pratyahara, we start to see these tendencies of the mind and our relationship to the world around us, and we start to contextualize it a bit better. We start to see that in this moment, for example, we are practicing yoga. We don't need to be aware of anything else. We don't need to be aware of what's going on outside. We don't need to be aware necessarily of what's going on in the space around us. Now, I understand there's some parents in the room. You might have to be aware of some kids. That's fine too. But to the best of our ability, we start to disidentify with outer distractions. And when we can shut off that sensory information, we then turn inward toward the stages of meditation, which are the next three limbs, which we'll discuss in June. Now, the best posture, the best yoga pose you can do to practice pratyahara is shavasana, corpse pose. We practice it literally every class, at least in my classes we do. And, I joke sometimes that it's the nap at the end of a workout, which it is. There's totally a reason to do shavasana beyond pratyahara. Like, the body is integrating, you're resting everything, it's like letting everything sink in. That's all still true. On a mental level, though, it is the practice of turning off what we have been doing, which is at that point asana and pranayama, and starting to tune more deeply towards what's actually happening inside of the system. And that'll become clearer as we go along. And the last thing I'll mention about this before we kick into practice here is that this is where it becomes very much true that yoga is about preparing yourself for deeper states of consciousness. In America, in the West, yoga has been very classified as stretching or a workout or asana, the third limb. It's good to note that asana is one of eight limbs, but that all of this work we've done so far is to prepare us to be in deeper states of consciousness. Now, how we'll do that today, because I understand you have not been out there just practicing all the first four limbs before you got here. We're going to worry about that here too, don't worry. So we're going to do an energetic practice that's going to feel probably Kundalini adjacent to get our energy and our body really, really ready to rest. And once we've kind of burned off any frenetic energy, and once we've brought balance to the chakras and the system, we can then rest in Shavasana, and the world becomes less of a distraction. After that, Shavasana will come up and we'll do a deep meditation. Okay? So I know that was kind of a diatribe for, for us, but I wanted to give context to what we're doing. And it's also why we have so much time set aside in these practices this month, is so that we can go deeper. And some of that takes context, but most of it takes practice. So let's go ahead and practice. Please sit tall. Feel your crown lift, your shoulders relax, and your eyes close. And I've just thrown a lot of information at you, so just kind of see how that's settling into your system. If there's any curiosity or aversion or excitement or all of that. Maybe you don't feel prepared to have an energetic practice. Maybe you don't feel like you can make it past this limb of yoga. Whatever is there for you, just acknowledge it. Let it be true. Because it's at least part true, because you're thinking it. Or I should say you're feeling it. And then as you're being with these thoughts and these concerns or excitements, whatever's going on for you, I'd like you to start to regulate your breath. So you don't necessarily need to take a deeper breath, but just allow the inhale and exhale to be steady, smooth, and relatively even. So the length of your inhale is somewhat equal to the length of your exhale. It doesn't have to be a precise measurement, but allow there to be a feeling of breath moving in and out of your body. And as you are regulating your breath, and as you're present with the mind, allow the body to come to stillness other than the breath. Don't move your arms, don't move your hands and fingers. Keep the tongue still. Keep the spine still, your neck, your head. Keep it all still. Just the breath is moving. Try to keep your mind trained on the breath. Try to keep the breath nice and steady. We'll continue for a few more moments. And then relax your efforts around your breath. Notice any distractions in your environment. Acknowledge those distractions. Don't be irritated by them. Just feel like I hear you, I acknowledge you, I sense you. Bow to that distraction. And then once you've bowed to that distraction in your mind, return inward. As you're sitting still and the breath is steady, the mind might take you somewhere else. You might Start thinking about what happened today or what might happen later. Bow to those distractions. Acknowledge them. My mind has wandered. I acknowledge that. I'm not irritated by it. I'm not judging that experience. I see that it's happened. I bow to that disturbance. Then I come back to the stillness. Throughout our practice tonight, you might find your mind drawing you away. Each and every time, bow to those distractions, acknowledge them, and then disidentify with any emotional attachment to them, no matter what the thought or distraction is, and return to the practice each and every time. So from this more centered place, let's go ahead and chant Om 3 times. Deep breath in. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Bring your palms together, bow your chin, bow to all parts of you, your body, your breath, your energy and mind. It's in service of all of that that we will practice tonight. Go ahead and rub the palms together. Take the heated palms over your eyes and brush back over the top of your head, down your neck, and bringing yourself back to the space around you. Good, so let's come on to hands and knees to start, please. And just do a little counter posing for this sitting. So in table pose, take a deep breath in. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale back up. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale into plank pose. Back to downward facing dog. Stretching back maybe a little bit more this time, feeling the legs and spine lengthen. Let's do that again. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing. Plank pose, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. Then landing in down dog, feel free to walk it out for a few moments. Allow that walking out to go all the way up into your hips. 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs to stillness, and we'll move through Danda Kriya 3 times. So inhale, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. To downward facing dog, exhale. Again, inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing and downward facing. 1 more time for now. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. To downward facing dog. Floating down onto hands and knees. Release the feet, child's pose. Stay for 2 breaths. And then please roll yourself up to a seat, sitting on your heels. Now, if you're not comfortable here, you can take a block between the feet and prop yourself on that. That'll give you a bit more support, less pressure in the ankles and the knees. And if at the end of the day, sitting like this is just horribly uncomfortable, don't do it. Just come back to cross legs, okay? So we are going to practice Kapalabhati, the breath of fire. Many of you, if not all of you, know this one. And we're going to add some kumbhaka or breath work to, or breath retention, I should say, to this practice. So just a reminder, Kapalabhati is a quick exhale from the abdomen, allowing the inhale to be passive. We'll go for about 45 seconds or so for the first round. And then at the end, I'll invite you to hold the breath in. And then when you exhale, you'll fold forward over the legs and you'll hold the breath out if you can. And then we'll come back up and then we'll go for another round. And there's going to be a little bit more complexity to the choreography toward the later rounds, but we'll get there in a moment, okay? So sit up as tall as you can. The breath is done through the nose and just go at your own pace, okay? So just take a moment, feel the breath moving in the abdomen. Again, this breath happens at the belly, not the chest. And if you start to feel lightheaded, slow down. So beginning Kapalabhati, take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath in at the top of the inhale. See a light clearing the brain, maybe some sensation in the abdomen. Keep holding for 3, 2. Slowly exhale, fold forward over the legs. If you can, hold the breath out, feeling the mind become stiller. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, sit up. Exhale here. Deep breath in. Kapalabhati. Deep breath in. Hold the breath in. See light in the brain, energy at the navel. 3, 2, 1. Fold forward. Slowly exhale through the nostrils. Hold the breath out if you can. 3, 2, 1. Sit back up. Inhale. Hold the breath in at the top. 3, 2, 1. Fold forward again. If you can, hold the breath out. If not, just breathe calmly. 3, 2, 1. Sit up. And exhale here. Take a deep breath in. One more time, Kapalabhati. Deep breath in. Hold the breath in at the top of the inhale. See light in the brain, energy at the navel. 3, 2, 1. Fold forward. Hold the breath out if you can. 3, 2, 1. Slowly sit up, inhale. Hold the breath in. 3, 2, 1. Fold forward. Hold the breath out. 3, 2, 1. Sit up, inhale. Hold the breath in. 3, 2, 1. Fold forward. Hold the breath out. 3, 2, 1. Sit up, inhale. And exhale here. Allow your breath to adjust. Good. Whew, all right. Slowly bringing your awareness on back. And let's come back into downward facing dog. You might feel like you want to walk the dog out a bit after that. That's fine. Let's do Danda Kriya 4 times. Plank pose. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing dog. And continue 3 more times on your own. Moving at your own pace, on your own breath. This should be about your last one. Landing in downward facing dog, stay for 2 breaths. And then float down onto hands and knees. Once again, child's pose for a few moments. And then go ahead and roll yourself back up to a seat sitting on your heels. I promise there's a method to all this madness. So again, you can sit on a block if you'd like to. And again, at the end of the day, if this just doesn't work for you, please come to cross legs. If you are sitting in cross legs, maybe sit on a couple of blankets. So go ahead and bring your hands onto your shoulders, the thumb behind you, the 4 fingers in front. Good. And then go ahead and bring your elbows forward. Inhale, take them up and turn the chest toward the ceiling. Then exhale, round the elbows forward, look down at your lap. Then inhale, open back up. And then exhale, round forward. And let's keep going. Inhale, open up. And exhale, round forward. Inhale, open up. Exhale, round. Now, as you're doing this movement, it's happening in your upper back. So the lower back barely moves at all. If it does, good. Now, as you're getting used to this breathing rhythm and this movement, we're going to pick up the pace with both the movement and the breath. So notice how quickly you're going now. And then go twice as fast. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Keep going. Notice how quickly you're going now. If you can, double time. Start to slow it down. Slowing it down. Exhale, relax the arms. Feel sensation. If you're feeling kind of dizzy, open your eyes and focus to a single point. If not, keep the eyes closed. And then go ahead and bring your awareness on back. Told you to be kind of an energetic experience tonight. Good. So sitting where you're at, bring your left fingertips or left hand to the floor, depending on how well you can reach that. Take your right arm out to the side. With an inhale, reach the right arm up and overhead. Just lean as far to the left as you can. Now, sometimes when we do this, the right shoulder wants to drop forward. Take the right shoulder back and reach through the fingertips and ground through your right hip. And you might even be able to turn to look under the right arm. Good, then go ahead and sit back up. We'll switch sides, bring that right hand, fingertips or hand to the floor. Left palm turns up, and then inhale, reach the left arm up and over. Round the left hip, reach through the fingertips, roll the left shoulder back. Good, come on up. All right, let's return to downward facing dog. Take your time. So again, you might want to walk it out a bit. We've been sitting quite a bit tonight. And why not? Let's go through Danda Kriya 5 times. Just building slowly. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Do 4 more at your own pace. Just about heading into your last one. And landing in downward facing dog. Good, so in down dog, come into plank pose. And go ahead and come down onto your forearms, bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders. And let's shake a bit here, just feel it. Might tremble in your shoulders and arm, you might tremble in the core. Make sure your pelvis doesn't sag down, keep it lifted. Three, 2, and 1. If you can, press back up to hands and knees, or to plank pose, I should say. And we'll all come to down dog when you're ready. Good, so go ahead and lift your right leg into the air behind you. With your exhale, swing or carry, step the right foot between your hands, bring the back knee to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up into a crescent lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down and step back to downward facing dog. And then you'll lift the left leg high and step it through, help it forward, back knee to the ground, then sweep the arms up into the crescent lunge on this side. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. And we're just gonna keep going. Right leg lifts, step it through, knee down, crescent lunge, downward facing dog, left leg, and step, crescent lunge. And I'm gonna ask you to keep going, again at your own pace, Right leg, then left leg, stepping forward, lunging, and then back. You might go quicker, you might go slower, and that's completely fine, but just keep moving. Moving from side to side. Moving with your breath. Warming up these hips a bit here. And we'll do just a few more rounds. Let's do one more time on each side, right foot, then left foot. And take your time getting there, but the next time the left foot steps back, go ahead and stay in downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into the standing forward fold. Let's take a few deep breaths here. The knees are a little bit soft. Just drape the upper body over the legs. Relax the head, the shoulders, the arms. Now from the forward fold, I want you to do two things. So staying in the forward fold. First is to bend your knees enough so that your fingertips can touch the floor if they don't already. The second is to take your heels, your feet, just a little bit wider than your hips. So we're not coming into a wide leg stance at all, just slightly narrower than the shoulders, slightly wider than the hips. Take a deep breath in, lift yourself up halfway. Then exhale, you're gonna bend your knees, take them wide of the arms, lift the heels, squatting down. So my heels are lifted here, fingertips are on the floor in front of me. Good, take a deep breath in. Then exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. Inhale, bend the knees, wide of the arms, squat down. And then exhale, straighten the legs, fold forward. And we'll do that a few more times. Bend the knees, sink down, squat, and then straighten up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Just a couple more times. I promise this will all make sense eventually. And let's do one more. We're gonna land in the squat. So bending the knees, taking them wide. Now your fingertips can stay on the floor here. Just try to lengthen your spine up. Or you can bring palms together, elbows into the knees, widening them slightly. And then some of you, if you want to, you can take those palms together and take them overhead. And breathe. And breathe. Good. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the floor. Straighten the legs and fold. Beautiful. Press palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. Inhale, reach. And then release the arms on down. Good. So feeling what you feel, we've done a lot so far in the short period of time, just noticing what's there for you in the body. Maybe it's in the hips and legs from that squat. Maybe you're still feeling some of the core work from earlier. we're going to continue to build some energy with some arm swings. I'll give you two options tonight, depending on how far you want to go. The simpler, or I guess less intense version, is to take your arms up, back, up, and then jab. If you want to take it a step further, and this kind of puts a bit more pressure on the back, but if you're feeling good there, you can do it. You'll take the arms up, back, up, and then drop the body, sweep back to come up for the next round. Now for everybody, it'll be a 3-part inhale through the nose, powerful forced exhale out of your mouth, all right? We'll go for about 2 minutes. So you can even change which one you want to do part way. If you start to feel tired, you can go back to the first one. If you're starting to feel good, you can go to the second one. Pick your own practice. All right, so finding your breath, relax the arms down. Again, we're inhaling through the nose, exhaling out of the mouth. When you're ready, inhale up, inhale back, inhale up, exhale, drop or jab, inhale, 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 exhale. Swing it out, feeling the full movement of the shoulder joints up and back. And it's a powerful exhale out of the mouth. Feel the navel pull into the body and up, clearing your lungs, your respiratory system, the throat, the nostrils. Swing it out. Again, you can switch which version you're doing if you want to, but especially as we get to kind of this more repetitive melodic movement, I want you to become aware if there are distractions that are trying to pull you away from being present with this practice, externally or internally. Then bow to those distractions. They're there. That's a reality. And then just allow yourself to be unperturbed by them. Just turn back inward to what you're experiencing here. The movement of the shoulders, that forced exhale. About 20 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Take a moment, feel sensation. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, hold the breath in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release the arms, exhaling through the mouth. Inhale, sweep back up, hold in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Again, sweep up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale. Interlace your fingers at your lower back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, soften the knees, hinge at the hips, fold forward over the legs, lifting the arms off the back as far as you can. From here, bend your knees deeply like you would for chair pose. Release the arms, sweep them forward, come into chair pose. Keep the arms up, or you can take them onto your hips. Take a deep breath in, Kapalabhati. Three, two, and one. Inhale, reach up. And release the arms, exhale. Pay attention inward. You might sense a calm or stillness to your mind. And even the distractions of your body start to lessen. Doesn't mean they're gone completely. Just less pronounced, or like less, I don't want to say important, but just they're just pulling at you a bit less. Maybe, maybe not. So taking a deeper breath, bringing yourself on back. All right, so please take your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders. If you're standing forward on your mat, it's about mat width apart, okay? I'll give you two options for this one as well. And this just really depends on how much space you have around you. We're gonna be doing arm swings from side to side. And if you have furniture or walls or things around you, that might be hard to do. So if you can't do that one, you'll bring your hands onto your shoulders, just like we had earlier, fingers in front, thumbs behind, and you'll twist from side to side here. You're still getting a good twist in the spine. So it's okay to practice that one. Now, if you do have the space and you want to, you'll just allow the arms to swing loose around and let them hit your body. So just go ahead and join me. Twisting from side to side. Now the back heel, the heel you're twisting away from, it lifts off the ground just a little bit. This allows the hips to come with you as you twist. Unwinding tension in the spine. Just helping to relieve anything that needs to be relieved here. And this is actually why when we think about pratyahara, asana comes before it. It's because sometimes the body needs to get worked out a bit. Sometimes there's tension that needs to be released. So attend to the field, attend to your body. What needs attention here? How can you help it so that the body becomes less of a distraction to you when you're in the pursuit of deeper states of being? Which that could be just be the pursuit of a calmer mind. Doesn't mean we're all looking for enlightenment or anything. Attending to it. Now, because we're constantly twisting, sometimes the breath can become shallow. So if that's happening for you, I'd like you to deepen your breath. And better yet, we're all friends here. Better yet, why don't you just sigh audibly with each exhale? Just let it go. Some of you have done this live with me in a class, like in person before. It gets good, it gets good. Just let it go with an exhale. From side to side. We're gonna go for about 30 more seconds. Twist it out. Let it go with each exhale. It actually does help. 3, 2, and 1. Unwind. If it works for you, keep the eyes closed. feel. We'll do a little bit of breath work here. Stay inward. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. Hold the breath out. 3, 2, 1. Inhale slowly. Hold the breath in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. Hold the breath out. 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale slowly. Holding in. 3, 2, 1. Exhale slowly. Holding the breath out. 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Then exhale softly. No more holding. Feel sensation. Body, breath, energy, mind. And allow your awareness to trail on back. So when we insert conscious pauses during the breath, like we just did, and we've done it a couple times tonight, we had a whole class on it a few classes ago, it creates the conditions for the mind to become still. So when we think about trying to balance the body energetically, sometimes that's a lot of movement of the mind. So when we pause the breath, we pause the flow of prana, and we put a actual like roadblock in a thought cycle. And so if you find yourself ruminating on something, or you can't get out of a funk or something, these kind of practices are perfect to help just stop the cycling of the mind. And again, there was a class on this, I think 2 classes ago, on krama breath or segmented breathing. Go back to that one. It's lovely. It's absolutely lovely. So take a drink of water if you haven't done so in a while. We're moving a lot tonight, so we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. And then I'd like you to step toward the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you. I'm going to decide which way I want to go here. I'll go this way. I have options. So from the top of your mat, I'd like you to step your right foot way back, bring your hands or fingertips to the ground, and bring your back knee to the ground. So we're back in a lunge prep. Now for this one, you're going to bring your right hand to the inside of the left foot. If the floor is feeling far away from you, you can take a block and place it there instead, and that just gives you a bit more height. Now, once you have the right hand next to the left foot, go ahead and reach your left arm forward, take a deep breath in, then exhale, spiral that left arm into the air, coming into a lunging twist. Okay, and again, having a block under the right hand might make this a bit more accessible for you. Good, then go ahead and unwind, inhale. So we're gonna come back into that twist. I'm gonna give you another option. You can just come back into it the way that we did, or if you'd like to, you can lift the chest up first and bring the palms together. You'll take a deep breath in, and then you'll take the right elbow across the top of the left thigh. Pressing the palms together, you'll then roll the left shoulder back and look up. This takes a bit more balancing, so it's okay if you want to bring the hand back down to the floor. So pick your practice again. Now you can stay here, whichever version you're doing, and you can do this next move in either variation. You can curl the back toes under and pick up that back knee, keep the hips sinking, keep the left shoulder rolling back. If that's destabilizing, you can bring that knee back down. It helps to focus the eyes. Three, 2, and 1. Bring the knee down, unwind, hands to the floor. Good. Go ahead and step forward, Uttanasana. And just fold forward for a moment. Notice sensation. And then when you're ready, please step your left foot way back. Bring the back knee to the floor. Left hand on the ground next to the right foot. Reach the right arm forward, inhale. Exhale, sweep that arm into the air, coming into your twist here. We'll stay for a couple breaths. And then go ahead and unwind. And you can either come right back into that and hold, or you can lift up a bit, palms together, and then bring your left elbow across the top of the right thigh or knee. Press the palms together and roll the right shoulder back. And twist. And breathe. Now again, you can lift the back knee if you'd like, and that can go for either variation. Just focus the eyes. Breathe. Three, two, and one. Knee down. Unwind. Downward facing dog this time. And why not? Come down onto child's pose. Take a load off for a moment. Again, staying with the present experience. And then please come up to seat or hands and knees. Just look forward for a moment. I'll demonstrate this next pose. So I'll start with the caveat that I don't, or I should say I haven't taught a lot of arm balancing postures in my classes for varying reasons. But we're going to do one tonight. And I'll give you some variations so that you can practice safely. And of course, if anything I'm asking you to do feels like too far for you, just don't do it, okay? Just chill. Okay, so we're going to practice crow pose. And the way that I practice crow, and there's a couple of ways that people do this, but the way that I do it is I start in a squat. So my feet are about, in that same, when we did the frog squat earlier, I had you bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips and a little narrower than your shoulders. Same thing. So I'm going to come back down into that exact same squat we did earlier. I'm going to look forward on my mat here. And I'm going to bring my hands flat to the floor in front of me. So I'm leaning forward. Now I want to try to get my leg as far up my arm as I can. This is where it starts to get a bit dicey, okay? So I kind of come onto my tippy toes to make sure that happens, kind of create shelves here. And I don't jump into the posture. I just lean forward until my feet want to start coming up off the ground. And you just might play around here, just kind of tiptoeing forward a bit. Some of you might be able to, it's hard to talk and do at the same time, might be able to stay and hover. Now, if what's keeping you from going forward into the hover is you feel like you're going to face plant, I have an option for you, which is not face planting. Instead, you'll bring a block probably on height 1 or 2, so either the lowest height or the next one up, to be there to catch your forehead. And so this might take some figuring out where your head would be, but you'd basically do this, and then you'd catch your head. So there's still a tripod happening, but instead of lifting the feet, you're playing around with lifting your head. Okay? You good? Let's give this a try. I'll walk you through the steps and we'll practice for just a couple minutes, okay? And you might fall out of it. You might take a break. It's all good. But come into your frog squat. Again, from standing, the feet are just a little bit wider than your hips. Fold forward. Lift the heels, bend the knees. Bring the hands flat to the floor. And my hands are about as wide as my shoulders. It's a nice stable stance. And you don't want the hands next to the feet because then you're not going to have anything to stand on. You want to have them maybe about 6 to 8 inches in front. And then lean as far forward as you can. Get those legs up on those upper arms. Now, if you're using a block, make sure it's in place. And then just lean forward and start to play with the idea of picking the toes up off the ground. And for some of you, if you have longer limbs or if you're just a taller person, you might actually have to take your hands even further apart, especially if you're feeling it in the wrists. Widen the hands a bit. And just play around with it. There's nothing to achieve here. There's an opportunity to experience something. Give it a couple more tries. Good, last try, or last few moments in it if you're just holding it, and good for you. This is the hard part about a virtual class. I can't actually tell where you're at with practice. So I'm just trusting that you're taking care of yourself. And when you feel ready or when you feel complete in this part of the practice, go ahead and come out of it. And though we have a couple postures left to do, I'll have you come onto your back. Take your time getting there. I know some of you are still transitioning from crow pose. Now, if you're still making your way to the floor, just continue to go at your own pace. I'm just going to start instructing some stuff. We're going to come into bridge prep. So feet are flat on the floor, knees are bent, heels underneath your knees. And we're going to hold bridge pose for a few rounds. And there's some variations on it. But for all of us, we'll have the arms down by our sides. And go ahead and lift the hips into the air. Inhale. Now you can just stay here if you'd like to. Some of you might be able to interlace your fingers underneath your body and then kind of shimmy up onto the sides of the arms. So bringing the shoulder blades together, rolling onto the sides of the arms, and lifting both the hips and the chest a bit higher, deepening the back bend in your upper back. And breathe. Press up a bit higher. And then carefully begin to come out of the pose. Please extend your left leg down to the ground. Bring your right knee into your chest. Hug it in. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale, take the right knee into the left hand. Draw that leg across your body, twist. Feel your right shoulder anchor back behind you, your right arm extending out to the side. You can also turn your chin to the right. And take some deep breaths into our twist here, relaxing muscles that you find clenching. And then inhale, unwind. Coming back to center. And then take your time, but when you're ready, extend your right leg down. Bring your left knee in. And taking the left knee into the right hand, draw that knee across the body toward the floor on the right side. Feel your left shoulder and arm anchor behind you, turning the chin to the left. Then inhale, unwind. And just hug both knees in for a moment. Really being present with this body. What's here for you? What information is being sent to you about your body right now? Noticing your breath gently moving in your body, flowing in and out. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release the legs, extending them down to the floor, and really make yourself comfortable for Shavasana tonight. We're going to be here for a bit longer than we normally do. So I want to make sure that you feel supported where you're at. Bring any props where you need them. Blanket under the head. You do an eye pillow if you have something to cover your eyes with. Nothing too heavy. But make yourself comfortable. And just to preface, at a certain point, as you settle into Shavasana, I'll be muting my microphone just so that there's no ambient noise on my end so that you can really rest as deeply as you can as well. So just know that if you don't hear background noise from me, it's because I've muted. But just start to let yourself relax and let go. Make any final adjustments to make yourself 10 to 15% more comfortable. And just as you settle in, acknowledge that distractions are a part of life. That we live in a big universe. There's a lot going on in it, a lot of noise. But at the end of the day, it's our choice whether to be dysregulated by those noises or distractions. It doesn't mean that we're not doesn't mean we're not conditioned to pick up on sounds for certain reasons or disturbances for certain reasons. But when they come into your awareness, acknowledge it and let it go. Let it not be the disturbance or distraction that it might be to your generally waking mind. Let it rise into your awareness, let it go from your awareness. Let it rise in your awareness, let it go from your awareness. And in the in-between times, when you're not finding yourself distracted or disturbed, be present. The softness of the body as it relaxes. That gentle breath. And allowing yourself, for the sake of this practice, to identify with any sense of ease you are experiencing, whether that's physical, energetic, or mental. Where do you feel ease? And let yourself blend with those experiences. Where is there ease? Be with that ease. And when the mind gets drawn away, you just bring it back to the ease. No judgment, no shame, no annoyance, just ease. Peace. 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 Remember your body. Remember your breath. Go ahead and take a deeper, fuller breath. Invite some gentle movements to your hands and your feet, your arms and legs, wiggling your toes and fingers. Begin to bring yourself back. Rolling to your right side for a few breaths. Eventually transitioning up to a seat, please. So take your time coming to a comfortable seat. We'll be here for about 8 minutes or so, 7 or 8 minutes. So make sure that you're comfortable where you're at. And try to keep your awareness as inward as possible. Now we will be practicing Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So if you're not aware how to do it, you can follow my instruction. If you know how to do it, just go ahead and get started. If you're not aware, you're going to take your right hand and bend in the first and middle finger so that the little fingers and the thumb are exposed. When the time comes, you'll block your right nostril with your thumb. When the time comes, you'll block the left nostril with your small fingers, okay? And we'll just go back and forth. So I'll guide you through the process at first, and then I'll let you go for a little bit. So blocking the right nostril, take a deep breath in through the left. And then block the left nostril, release the right, exhale right nostril. And then inhale right nostril. And exhale left nostril. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. A couple more rounds. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. Final round. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. Release the palm. Be aware of the breath. And from this point forward, if you notice any distractions, bow to them and return to the practice. Please bring your awareness to your spine, the skeletal structure from the tip of the tailbone to the center of the brain. And imagine a light ignited at the tip of your tailbone. It might be a spark or a star, an orb of light, however best you can imagine that light at the tip of the tailbone. And as you inhale, draw that light up your spine, passing through each vertebrae to come to the center of the brain at the top of your inhale. And as you exhale, allow that light to descend the spine at the bottom of your exhale, coming to rest at the base of the tailbone. Again, inhale, light up to the center of the brain on your inhale, and light down to the tip of the tailbone on your exhale. Continue to see that movement of this light. Inhale, the light ascends the spine. Exhale, the light descends the spine. And as this light is moving through the spine, just feel it sending out waves of calm and ease, both within the spine itself, but out through the central nervous system into every cell of your body. Every time the light goes up, a wave passes through your body of calm and ease. Every time that light descends your spine, another wave of calm and ease. And then with the next inhale, draw that light back up to the center of the brain and keep it there. Keep breathing. But allow that shock wave of ease to permeate into your brain, to keep pulsing into the mind, sending waves of calm, sending waves of ease into your consciousness, just softening any distress, distraction. You feel yourself soft and calm. And it's not that you're not aware of everything, you are, but that's not who you are. You're not your distractions. You're not your body. You have a body, but you're not your body. And even these movements of the mind that start to pull you away from the sense of ease, you're not even that. You have a mind, you have thoughts, but you're not your thoughts. You're not your mind. Let it go. Begin to identify more with the light that is sending the waves of ease, that center of consciousness. Allow the identification to become with that light. That's who you are. Knowing that If you were to forget that this is who you are, if you start to identify with the body, the world, the mind again, it's okay. It's okay. You have the practice of yoga to bring you back to the consciousness of who you really are when everything else fades, that spark at the center of you. So keeping yourself at least somewhat identified with that center of consciousness, allow yourself to take a deeper, fuller breath. Bring the palms to your heart and bow to yourself. Again, that center of consciousness. And may all of this work you've done here tonight, all of this disidentification, all of this pratyahara, may all of that work and this practice keep you connected to who you truly are when all else fades. So until next time, namaste.